Come and dream with me.
Hello and welcome to What Do You Want to Watch, the Explosion of X Premier Media Podcast. Every week we get together and talk about movies, TV, and online content. Help you answer the question, can you believe Batman Begins came out 20 years ago today? Or this week?
Yeah, well, 2005, hey? Yeah, no, yeah.
Yeah.
Wild.
I'm your host,
Sorry,
Ash
I mean,
Shelby.
wild.
I'm your host, Ash Shelby. Join me today, Tom Blight.
I'm Batman.
Swear to me, it's been 20 years.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
that is crazy. Saw that in cinema, did you?
Did I see it in cinemas?
Yeah.
No.
Wow. What'd you do? How'd you fuck that up?
So my parents, for some reason, I didn't even realize they were making another Batman movie at the time. I was in year 12 at the time, so, I focused on studies and that kind of things, New time for movies. But that year, my parents went to Malaysia or China, one or the other. And they came
They're
back.
all the same.
Yeah, all the Asian countries, the same.
Yeah.
They came back with like a bunch of bootleg DVDs. One of them, Batman Begins. It's the first time I watched that movie, bootleg DVD, with a bunch of friends on like Schoolies Week.
That's interesting. Yeah.
Yes, there we go. What a story. On this episode,
Anyway, this week on the show, yes.
Piracy's bad, kids. On this week's episode of the show, talking about what's in our watch history, going over some film news, giving some thumbs to trailers, and giving you this week's top 3. Kicking things off, I was fortunately invited to see the latest Pixar animated film, Elio, which is set to release in cinemas this Thursday. Directed by, in the film, it's credited as Adrian Molina, but on the Wikipedia page it says, and from what we know, Domichi and Madeline Cherafin also co-directed or took over directing the film at some point, which is an interesting little tidbit I noticed. But yes, it follows a young boy named Elio, who's before movie starts, his parents died. I can't remember if they made it clear exactly how. Not that it's super important, but now he's living with his aunt, who is working with the military. But what she does is she helps point out where space debris is going to be with the army.
That's a real job.
I assume so, because there's a bunch of space debris up there, and if satellites are moving around for whatever reason, it could just get hit by it and then destroyed, and that's a ton of money that's lost. Whatever. But yeah, Elio is obsessed with aliens. He feels very left out. Feels very alone. So he is obsessed with the idea of getting aliens to abduct him and take him to wherever they are. Especially, I think at the start of the film, they have like the gold record. Do you know that thing that they sent off with one of the Voyager satellites out into deep space with like messages from Earth and like that kind of thing, like we're out there. It's a message from the children of Earth, So if life actually does exist out there, they have to have a way to contact us back. And of course, there actually is aliens out there, and they do contact him back. And Elio finds himself on the Cosmosphere. It's like a big alien community where there's a bunch of ambassadors from a bunch of different planets who are all like chill out and have fun, pretty much. But there is another alien, Lord Grygon, who desperately wants to join, but he is more of the militant takeovery type than the chill ambassador thought. Pretty much she's a jock, and all the other aliens are a bunch of nerds. So they don't really want the jock to come and be part of their club. So Elio has to kind of, in order to join, he has to convince Grygon to leave peacefully.
Qui-Gon?
Grygon.
Oh.
So yes. I really enjoyed it. I think, it is... I don't think it's going to be remembered as one of their best, but it is definitely full of heart and full of lots of enjoyment, lots of laughs. It's very colorful and lots of interesting sci-fi ideas utilized that you haven't really seen in kids' films. Because he's abducted, the aliens make a clone of him and send him back to take his place on Earth. But his aunt is like very sus about him because he's like acting like super normal and gives up all his obsession with aliens and that kind of stuff, and that kind of thing. Then you've got he makes friends with Grygon's son, Glordon, who is like, does not want to be this murderous warmongering creature. It was really delightful. Hit you with heart at the right places. The score's really good. Very colorful and enjoyable. It's like a fun kids adventure film. So, obviously we've seen trailer. This is one of the most interesting developments of one of these films that we've seen in a while, because obviously it hasn't not been a easy road. But I think they really pulled it together and has made something really interesting. I think one of the key things I took away, like, sometimes they like hit you with that one line. It's like, oh, that's so good. It's like, because Elio, like, his whole thing is he feels so alone in the world, like, because his parents are gone and his aunt is taking care of him, but you get the impression that she had a different dream of what her life would be, which is very funny in the same year that Lilo and Stitch has come out and everybody's complaining about how that movie panned out. How that movie ends. One of the aliens says, it's being unique and being alone are often confused, which I think is a poignant line that stuck with me. So yeah, I reckon Elio is a really good time. Obviously, original film is what we want to all see. So go check it out in cinemas. Take your kids this holiday season. Yeah, I think it is the big animated film of this holiday season.
Well, yeah, the other studio that might have one out has chosen to put out a live action one. So,
I mean, Smurfs is coming out, but
that's not a real movie.
So that is a movie. I know what you said is not a movie, but it is actually a movie.
I don't know about that.
Yeah, I mean, it'll be interesting because obviously, Pixar's track record financially recently has not been good, other than their sequels. Obviously, Inside Out was a massive success last year. So I'm interested to see what the public reaction to Elio is going to be. But yeah, I thought it was quite delightful. Speaking of the other potentially animated film that did not come out, Dylan, you got the chance to check out How to Train Your Dragon, the live action film based on the animated film, which is pretty much the animated film.
What do you think? You're very good. You reckon you're so good at predicting how I feel? Now, I haven't tweeted or anything or tweeted or about this one, so you have no spoilers.
I think you liked it because it's the animated movie's good, and this is just the animated movie, just with human people. Or are you one of these people that's, oh, it's completely soulless, there's nothing about it. It's just people walking around. It's all executive suits and people checking their accounts.
It is people walking around. I think it was just so perfectly fine that it's like, it would have been better off being worse. At least it would have been like, it would have stood out more. Is how I feel about it.
If it was just bad, it would have stood out more from the animated film.
Yeah. Well, no. Yeah. Yes, actually. Yeah, it's just such a solid 6, I feel, in like the harshest way. That it's weird to say that it's probably one of the best live action animated films we've had, but at the same time is so somewhat boring. is sort of how I felt about it. Like, I don't think like it has any of the magic of the animated movie. Full stop. That I do think.
Not even the flying stuff?
No, I don't think any of the flying stuff adds any of the same joy at all. I do think the animation of Toothless as a character is still not quite as animated as he is in the animated, but I still think he has a lot of the flavor that makes him like this wholesome puppy dog like dragon, especially like by the time you get to the end of the movie and their relationships formed and everything like that. There are some elements and very small amounts that I think bring the same wow factor. I think primarily probably like the last big action scene, as you see in the trailer versus like the really big dragon. I think that has like a wow factor to it. But yeah, other than that, I don't feel like any of the standout heart or humor is here in which the way it is an animated movie. And yet at the same time, I don't feel like it done that film a disservice by how bad this was. It was just so, here it is again, but not as good. That it's sort of, it's just bread and butter, you know? It's very plain, you know, and in almost a inoffensive but completely forgettable way. That's how I felt about this movie. Like, I'll never think about this again outside this week.
Hmm.
And if I ever want to rewatch How to Train Your Dragon, I'm never touching this movie again. I'm just going to rewatch the animated ones, you know. So, yeah, that's how I feel about it.
Okay. Yeah.
Could be worse, you know.
It could
be
be
a
worse
statement.
you know?
Yeah.
So I guess the question is: are you going forward? Are you more leaning towards the How to Train Your Dragon line of remaking these animated films, or are you going the Lilo and Stitch way of remake? You know, adding the flavor into.
Well, the thing is, one of my favorite animated films, all of my favorite live action animated films, are all ones that don't follow the rule. I would say my favorite ones are Christopher Robin and like Cruella, off the top of my head.
I wouldn't even like. That's even stretching
the thing.
Remake. It's like
that's
taking the
stretching.
IP and doing like something different with it.
So yeah, I guess that's my thing. I think my favorite live action animated films aren't actually remakes or anything. They're just the ones that take those characters and bring them into a live action setting. I think that they're the ones I've enjoyed the most because they're not adherent to story, attempting to recreate famous moments, attempting to bring, you know what I mean? Like, it's just they're the ones that stand out the most because of how free they are and how the directors of those films just get to make the movies they want, you know?
Yeah.
Tell the stories they want. So, I don't know. I'm over them full stop because they are just like, be it this or the Disney ones, they all just are driven by money. Obviously, they're just trying to recycle content and turn it into more money. And even you admitted last week that the creation of this is just because people want to keep the IP on the books and all that sort of stuff. So,
but it's a safe bet, to be perfectly honest. You know,
it's a safe bet. Yeah, it's easy money.
I mean, How to Train Your Dragon made $197 million worldwide this weekend or this week since release. Snow White made $205 million earlier this year, which is less impressive. And then, of course, Lilo and Stitch is currently at $858 million worldwide. That's a bonkers number. So yeah, you know, whatever it takes to keep these companies making more movies, I guess. You know, you need some big money makers to fund all the little things. You know,
I mean, I've been watching the studio, and that show's been teaching me something. You know, like...
Yeah. All right, let's talk about a movie that I'm fairly certain we both heavily enjoyed.
I forgot. I only just remember the check into this on Trakt, by the way.
Jeez. Let's talk about Materialists, which is the latest film from Celine Song, director of Past Lives, in which we follow Dakota Johnson's character, who is a matchmaker. So, you know, a high-end matchmaker, I guess, is probably an important quirk, who, you know, puts men and women together to try and get them to date and, like, find great matches for them. With the goal of them ultimately getting married or whatever. She is interestingly this very cynical person about marriage and love, due to her past relationship with Chris Evans' character, who was, you know, she did love, but couldn't get over the fact that he was a broke actor.
He's a broke ass bitch.
He's a broke ass actor who, you know,
doesn't want to spend $25
on parking. Yes, that is extravagant though. It's all, you know.
What is this, Melbourne Central? Jesus.
Yeah. You know. So yeah, at a wedding of one of her clients, she meets Pedro Pascal's character, who takes a very strong interest in her, courting her, because he is very, very rich. And then, you know, we have this love triangle, with a bunch of other series events kind of playing out around it.
It's not really a love triangle, I'd say. Like in your traditional sense.
Not in your traditional sense, but I don't think this is traditional rom-com either, you know.
No, well, I don't think it's a rom-com at all. Which I guess would be my first thing. This
The marketing.
the marketing. Before we get into actual thoughts on the movie, I'll say the marketing for this movie is marketing it as a traditional rom-com, and we've talked about this before, especially when we watched the first trailer and was like, "Whoa, that doesn't look like the follow-up movie to Past Life by Celine Song," obviously. But we said, "Oh, I'll have faith because how much we love that." When we watched the trailer, the audience I had in my screening. I'll say there was one other dude other than me there that I was aware of. So it was all girls, right?
Was it Chicks of Night?
No, it was not Chicks of Six Nine. The behind me and to the side of me, two groups of girls, absolutely fawning for Pedro Pascal, who spent the entirety of the movie complaining about certain things that were happening within the movie. Also spent the first 5 minutes complaining about the opening of this movie and how they were bored already. So I just want to like put into because it opens with like this caveman thing.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Then they kept like at times complaining it was boring. So I'll say the marketing worked. Is my point.
Yeah, people were there. People came
100%. 100% the marketing.
I don't. I think I saw that the movie got like a B cinema score, which doesn't surprise me.
It's being marketed towards an audience, who, look,
who were expecting Bridget Jones and got this.
Yeah, there's some things I'll touch on with spoilers, considering the things I'm complaining about. But all I'll say is they were complaining about a thing that happens later in the movie, and I have never wanted to turn around and just go, "You are literally missing the entire point of the movie." But that's
we can talk about it later. We can have a spoiler section. Yeah, I thought it was pretty fantastic. Like, like this obviously. It's very much a satire or a look, like drastic look at current dating, specifically the high end dating of like rich people and who have certain demands and needs. And obviously there is a segment earlier in the movie where it's a bunch of interviewing a bunch of men about what they want in a woman. It's like she's got to be fit, she's got to be like the movies I like, but she can't be in her 30s. 27 is pushing it, And then, of course, like surprisingly for maybe a rom-com, like she flips it where it's the women as well as ask about what they want. It's like this man has to make this much money. He's got to have this sort of education, and he has to be at least 64. So, but yeah, and then diving into this character's thought process on marriage and relationships and what she wants from them, I thought was very fascinating. And like,
it's maths, bitch.
It's all maths. Breaking down the facts and figures, but in the end, it's all about them feelings. There's no feelings in maths. Or there's no maths in feelings. But yeah, I think everybody was really likable. I think Dakota Johnson was really fantastic. Chris Evans was super charming and delightful. One of his stronger performances in recent times. And Pedro's being Pedro. Being very funny at times. And there are, we might say is not a rom-com. There is a lot of laughs in here.
There's one funny scene about 3/4 away from the movie when it's revealed about something.
One of Pedro's insecurities.
Yeah.
I mean, even at the start of the movie when she's going to like her match is getting cold feet. And she goes in there and like is talking about why do you want to marry him, and her explanation as to why. This is a massive laugh in my audience. So, we might do a bit of a spoiler section towards the end of the episode because some interesting bits, fun bits, and just some crazy moments. I think the other standout from the film is the
Zoe Winters.
Where is
the
it?
girl?
Sophie,
Zoe
played by Zoe Winters, who is one of her clients who she's struggling to find a match for. Who that's what happens to her is probably kind of the turning point of the movie. So, kind of shifts her thinking about everything, I guess. So, And she gave her a great performance as well. So yeah, we'll come back to the Materialists later. But that's everything in our watch history. Let's move into a little bit of film news. In a first-of-its-kind lawsuit, entertainment companies Disney and Universal are suing AI firm Midjourney for copyright infringement. The 110-page lawsuit filed Wednesday in a U.S. District Court in Los Angeles includes a detailed appendices illustrating the plaintiff's claims with visual examples and alleges that Midjourney stole countless copyrighted works to train its AI engine in the creation of AI-generated images. Many companies have gone after AI firms for copyright infringements, such as the New York Times, Sony Music Entertainment, and Getty Images, but this is the first time major Hollywood players have joined the fight against the AI landscape. The suit accuses Midjourney, a well-known force in the AI image generation space, with around 220 million registered users, according to data insights company Demand Sage, of selling an artificial intelligence image-generating service that functions as a virtual vending machine, generating endless unauthorized copies of Disney and Universal's copyrighted works. The lawsuit details The lawsuit details Midjourney's alleged infringement of popular Disney and Universal figures, including Shrek, Homer Simpson, and Darth Vader. It seeks unspecified damages from the ad company and aims to prevent it from launching an upcoming video service without appropriate copyright protection measures. Midjourney did not immediately respond to NPR's request for comments. What are your thoughts? Could this be the end of AI as we know it?
Yeah, right. I'm confused. So they're going to sue just for their IP stuff.
Yep. So the idea is that the people behind Midjourney just stole a bunch of Disney and Universal content.
Yeah, well, they probably did. Yeah,
teach their stuff.
Yeah,
without paying for it. Its use, I guess.
I don't reckon it's going to do much, simply because I don't know any judge or court that would, like, this stuff is just so weird and new that I don't know how anyone really takes it to court and gets an outcome, or one that doesn't take like years and years and years and years and years. You know what I mean? That's what I feel the problem is here. Like, this isn't you walk in, they go, yeah, you did cross the road at a red, you drove through a red light. It's like,
yeah, you shot that guy.
Yeah, it's so much more complicated than that. And although,
but also, is it though?
Well, that's the thing,
because they stole the IP, they stole the images and used it unlawfully.
Yeah, to train their AI program.
Yeah,
which
then just spits out copies of different versions of
are they directly
content.
making money directly from the content they stole though? Or is it like me saying I was inspired by something, and then am I technically stealing it if I used?
It's made by a machine. It can't be inspired. It's just
hey, I'm just playing the.
You're playing devil's advocate.
You're playing devil's advocate, but which they would, like, any good lawyer that was working for them is going to play devil's advocate, to point out all these things. Yeah. And I think that's why you would not get anywhere fast with this.
I mean, it's a good move. Like, obviously, two of the big heaviest hitters in the film industry coming out against one. Obviously, mentioned a bunch of other services have come out against different AI services as well. The sooner we get a decision on this, the better. Here's my take: is I don't think a lot of these studios or a lot of these AI companies if we don't have this information, our stuff doesn't work. Like, if we can't steal all this stuff, we can't make it work. Well, that's like a fucking pharmaceutical company coming up if we can't steal all these vitamins or ingredients, how are we supposed to make all the drugs? Mm-hmm. Just because it is easily attainable doesn't mean you can just take it.
Hey, are they technically wrong?
Yes. Are they morally wrong? That's a bit different question, because all the internet AI fuckboys out there will, oh no, I won't be able to make my shitty movie they always imagined using 3-second clips.
I'm a real artiste.
I just write a bunch of keywords in.
I wrote, dude, bro has sex with hot lady and drives red car. make it like the Transformers movies. And they're calling me not an artist. I said, play Nickelback in the background. I'm a DJ.
Play Nickelback sound alike.
Yeah, sorry. Play something that sounds very much like Nickelback to the point that you probably can't tell if it is or isn't Nickelback, but for legal reasons, it is not Nickelback.
Yeah. All right. All right. This week, the 2025 TV Logie Award nominees were revealed. So we're going to run through the nominations, and Dylan, you're going to tell me who you think's going to win.
Guy Montgomery.
Maybe. He's in some categories.
He is in some categories.
So we'll kick things off with the Gold Logie for most popular personality on Australian television. The nominees are Ali Langdon for a current affair in the Olympic Games coverage, Hamish Blake for Lego Masters Australia, Julie Morris for I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here, Lisa Millar for Back Roads, ABC News Breakfast, Mustard Dogs, Where Are They Now, Mustard Dogs, Collies and Kelpies, Lynn McGranger for Home and Away, Poling Yu for MasterChef Australia, Sonia Kruger for The Voice, Dancing with the Stars, Logie's Red Carpet Show.
I don't really care. Sonia?
Okay.
I don't think she's won. Has she won before? I don't think so.
I think she has.
Has she? Okay, sure, whatever.
Who knows? The Bert Newton Award for Most Popular Presenter. The nominees are Hamish Blake for Lego Masters Australia, Julie Morris for I'm Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here, Ricky Lee for Australian Idol, Sonia Kruger for The Voice, Dancing with the Stars, Logie's Red Carpet Show, Todd Woodbridge for Tick Point at Australia, Australian Open, the Olympic Games Paris 2024, Paris 2024 Paralympic Games, and Zan Rowe for Take 5 with Zan Rowe, and ABC's New Year's Eve.
Hamish?
Okay. Graham Kennedy Award for Most Popular New Talent. The nominees are Guy Montgomery for Guy Montgomery's Guy Spelling Bee, Hayley Pinto for Home and Away, Jenny Tien for Taskmaster Australia, Kate Miller-Heidke for The Voice, Kyla Day for Territory, and Sophia Levin for
these are voted by people vote, right?
Yeah.
All right, I'm changing my mind then. Jenny Tien.
Okay.
She got the TikTok audience.
She does. I'll also say the definition of new talent.
Well, new to
mainstream television this year.
Correct, yeah.
You know, Guy Montgomery's been around for a while. But then Kate Miller-Heidke, I feel like her music career started
Never heard of her.
Ages ago.
I may have had a song by hers in like high school, but I've never heard of it until this year.
So we got the newly announced Ray Martin Award for Most Popular News or Public Affairs Presenter. The nominees are Ali Langdon for A Current Affair, David Spears for Insiders, Michael Usher for 7 News and 7 News Spotlight, Peter Overton for 9 News and 9 Net, Sarah Ferguson for 7:30, and Tara Brown for 60 Minutes, and Dangerous Lives Unmasking Belle Gibson.
The last one.
Yep. Okay. Tara Brown.
Yep.
Best Lead Actor in a Drama. The nominees are Lloyd Griffith for Return to Paradise, Michael Dorman for Territory, Robert Taylor for Territory, Sam Corlett for Territory, Sam Neill for The 12, and Ty Hara for Return to Paradise.
I reckon that person from The Territory.
Yeah, which one?
The only one, the first one.
I said like 3 people.
Let's say the first one then.
Okay, Michael Dorman. Best Lead Actress in a Drama Series. Alicia Debman Carey for Apple Cider Vinegar, Anna Sampson for Return to Paradise, Anna Torv for Territory, Aisha Madden for Heartbreak High, Caitlin Dever for Apple Cider Vinegar, or Lynn McGranger for Home and Away.
Go with Anna Torv.
Okay. Keeping that American out.
Yep.
Best Lead Actor in a Comedy. Nominees are Aaron Chen for Fisk, Ben Miller for Austin, Clancy Brown for Good Cop, Bad Cop, Luke Cook for Good Cop, Bad Cop, Michael Theo for Austin, or Patrick Bramble for Colin from Accounts.
Aaron Chen.
What?
Was it nominees again?
You didn't hear any of that?
Go again?
Aaron Chen for Fisk.
Yeah, that one. Thank you.
All right. Best lead actress in a comedy. Harriet Dyer for Colin from Accounts. Jenna Owens for Nugget is Dead. Christmas Story. Kitty Flanagan for Fisk. Leighton Meester for Good Cop, Bad Cop. Sally Phillips for Austin. And Vic Zerps for Nugget is Dead. Christmas Story.
Katie Flanagan.
All right. Best Supporting Actor. The nominees are Ashley Zuckerman for Apple Cider Vinegar. Darren Gleeson for Colin from Accounts. Glenn Butcher for Fisk. Mark Cole Smith for Apple Cider Vinegar. Matt Nable for Apple Cider Vinegar. Or Sam Delich for Territory.
Matt Nable.
All right. Best Supporting Actress. Aisha D for Apple Cider Vinegar. Chloe Hayden for Heartbreak High. Jules Zamiro for Fisk. Mark Downey for The Newsreader. Michelle Lim Davidson for The Newsreader. Or Tilda Copeman Harvey for Apple Cider Vinegar.
Asha D.
Okay. Best Drama Program. Nominees are Bump from Stan. Heartbreak High from Netflix. Return to Paradise from ABC. Territory from Netflix. The Newsreader from the ABC. Or The 12 from Binge.
Bump.
Okay. Best Miniseries or Telemovie. Apple Cider Vinegar for Netflix. Critical Incident for Stan. Fake for Paramount. How to Make Gravy for Binge. Human Error from Nine Network. Or Plum from the ABC.
Sorry, I forgot which one I was going to pick. Can you read the first three again?
Apple
Which
Cider
one it was?
Vinegar. Critical Incident. Fake.
Fake.
How to Make
thank you.
Gravy.
Yeah. Fake. Yeah. I really
Okay.
enjoyed Fake. So yeah.
Best Entertainment Program. ABC News Year's
Cheap
Eve.
Seats.
Australian Idol. Countdown 50 Years On. Dancing with the Stars. The Voice. Or Vision Australia's Carols by Candlelight.
Imagine if I cared about any of those. Yeah. The third one. What was that?
Countdown 50 Years On.
Sure.
Best Current Affairs Program. You got
Cheap
60
Seats.
Minutes. 7:30. 7 News Spotlight. A Current Affair. Australian Story. Or Four Corners.
Four Corners. I watch that every week. So.
All right. Best Scripted Comedy Program. Austin from the ABC. Colin from Accounts from Binge. Fisk from the ABC. Good Cop, Bad Cop from Stan. Melbourne International Comedy Festival for ABC. Optics for ABC. I don't know if you include Melbourne International Comedy Festival as a scripted comedy program.
Yeah, I'm like just calling comedies stand up scripted because they rehearse jokes that's a bit far, I think. Anyway, Colin from Accounts.
Here we go. Best Comedy Entertainment Program.
Cheap Seats.
The nominees are Gruen from the ABC. Hard Quiz from the ABC. Have You Been Paying Attention from Network 10.
Cheap Seats. Cheap Seats.
Sam Payne Tonight from Network 10.
Cheap Seats.
Thank God You're Here, Network 10.
Cheap Seats. Cheap Seats.
The Weekly with
Cheap
Charlie
Seats.
Pickering, ABC.
Cheap Seats. Cheap Seats. 2 years.
I know.
2 years in a row.
It's Sam Pang's fault for launching his own show.
Actually, could
we write it? You going to be the answer?
I can't remember any picks. I was so focused. So let's go number 2. What
Hard
have I
Quiz.
picked? Sure. Hate that meme guy.
Best Competition Reality Program. The nominees are Alone Australia, Australian Survivor Brains vs. Brawn 2, Lego Masters Australia, MasterChef Australia, My Kitchen Rules, and The Block.
Taskmaster.
It's not on that list.
Fuck's sake. Let's go. 4. What was 4?
MasterChef Australia.
Sure, I love that. Love cooking. Love MasterChef. Shit.
I feel like you're not taking this serious.
I feel like I'm taking the Logies as serious as they deserve. I think my yes.
Okay. Best Structured Reality Program.
The
Farmer
fuck
Wants a
does that
Wife. Gogglebox Australia. Married at First Sight. Muster Dogs, Collies and Kelpies, Shark Tank Australia, or The Real Housewives of Sydney?
What does this mean? Structured reality show. Is there a description?
I mean, the other one's competition, so this one is just a non-competition.
Aren't they all competitions?
Other than, I guess, they're trying to get together. I don't know.
What was number 2? That's my pick.
Gogglebox Australia.
Love watching TV on TV through my TV.
Best lifestyle program. Better Homes and Gardens. Do you want to live forever?
No.
Gardening Australia. Garden Designs Australia. Restoration Australia. And Travel Guides.
Hook me up with one of those gardening ones, Ash.
The Gardening Australia was the only gardening one.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
Other than Better Homes and Gardens, but I think you would have said Better Homes first. Best news coverage or public affairs report. Betrayal of Trust, 4 Corners. Building Bad, 60 Minutes. Courage and Science, A Current Affair. Cyclone Alfred, 7 News. Melbourne Protests, Sunrise. Trump Assassination Attempt, 7 News.
The 4 Corners one.
Okay. Best factual or documentary program. Big Miracles. Ego, the Michael Gudinski story. Miriam Margolyes, Impossibly Australian. The Assembly. Tsunami, 20 Years On. And Unbreakable, the Yelena Dokic story.
Number 2.
Ego, the Michael Gudinski story.
Yeah, I did actually want to watch that. So
Yeah. Best sports coverage. 2024 AFL Final Series.
Cheap seats.
2024 State of Origin. 2025 Australian Open Finals. Australia versus India, Border Gavaskar Trophy. Combank Matildas versus China, PR. The Olympics Games, Paris 2024.
Let's go Matildas. The only thing I'd watch.
Wow. And here we go, Ed, with the most important category of the year. Best Children's Program. Bluey. Ginger and the Vegisaurs. Hard Quiz Kids. Little 3 and Big Cuz. Play School. And Rock Island Mysteries.
Give them to me again. Give them to
Do I
me.
really
Let
need to repeat?
me think hard on this one.
Bluey.
Yeah.
Ginger and the Vegisaurs.
Yeah.
Hard Quiz Kids.
Mm.
Little J and Big Cuz.
Mm.
Play School. Rock Island Mysteries.
Little J and Big Cuz.
Whoa, big call, big upset.
Big upset.
Gotta say, it's got to be a quiet year of Play Schools in that category. I think we've read these out multiple times, and Play School has not made the cut the last several years. So
I think this is a year I'm going to do really well. I've been making sure to watch it every year now, and pay a lot more attention to the odds.
So you must know who's hosting this year. It's the same person who hosted last year. So I mean,
Rove McManus.
nope.
Dave Hughes.
No, it's the person I said was responsible for the cheap seats on Kenny Dominished.
Sam Pang.
Yes.
That piece of shit.
That piece of shit. Holding Melanie Bracewell and the other person down.
He's just afraid because Melanie Bracewell could step on him. And he might like it.
Probably. All right. The Tony Awards took place this past week. I don't know if you saw
I did.
the big buzz about the Hamilton reunion on stage.
That's not the outrage I saw.
But every year we usually do one of our favorite segments, a Tony Awarded version of Would You Want to Invest? So I'm going to give Dylan the synopsis for the best musical and best play nominees, and he will tell me if he would fully invest, partially invest, or not invest in a film version of these projects. And history will be the judge of whether he's right or wrong.
History's always judging me, I've found, throughout the course of this podcast. Like, there's a lot of history judging me.
History is a bitch.
Mm.
Very judgmental.
I've been doing
We'll go
a show
through the
a
musical
while now,
nominees
so,
first.
you know, like, I just feel like it's like nearly 10 years of judgmental stuff happening here, but yeah.
Yeah. All right. First, we've got Maybe Happy Ending, set in the 2060s Seoul. This poignant musical follows two obsolete helper bots, Olivia and Claire, who form an unexpected romantic connection as their batteries near depletion. Their journey explores themes of love, obsolescence, and what it means to be human.
That sounds like something. Yeah, that sounds like a thing. Partial invest.
All right. Next, we've got Buena Vista? Yeah, Buena Vista for Social Club. Inspired by the real-life Cuban musical ensemble, this show delves into the vibrant world of Havana's music scene. It celebrates the rich cultural heritage and the enduring spirit of musicians who brought Cuban rhythms to the global stage.
That was sort of a nothing synopsis. So I'm going
Let's
to
see
say
if I-
no.
Yeah, hang on. The musical is set in Havana, Cuba, and spans time from the 1950s to the 1990s, following the lives of four prominent musicians, the effect communism and the rise of Fidel Castro has on musicians at the time, and their eventual collaboration in the 1997 on the landmark album Buena Vista Social Club.
That's more interesting. Partial invest.
Okay.
Look, the moral of the story there is a good pitch can take you from a no invest to a partial invest.
Okay. What's this one? Next one is called Dead Outlaw. Elmer McCurdy, a wayward boy born in the late 19th century, allows a middle-class life with a girl to slip away. Instead, McCurdy enlists in the army, ends up in a life, or rather a death of crime. McCurdy is shot dead at the age of 31. McCurdy's body is left unclaimed, so the coroner uses the body and begins to charge spectators 25 cents to see who he brands the dead outlaw. His corpse travels the country, ending up in wax museums, movies, and even an amusement park ride. Finally, years later, a movie set dresser discovers the body, acknowledging McCurdy's humanity, and sends it to the coroner, who identifies the body.
What?
It's based on a book.
That's wild. Yeah, fully invest. That sounds intriguing.
It's what's the one with Daniel Radcliffe?
Fuck, I remember. Yeah, whatever. Yeah.
Yep. Get them to come back. All right.
Yeah.
Next, we've got Death Becomes Her. Based on the cult classic film, the musical adaptation follows two rivals who, in their quest for eternal youth and beauty, consume a magical potion granting them immortality with unintended consequences. The show combines dark humor with satirical commentary on vanity and the fear of aging.
Yeah, full invest. This is more of a known thing.
That's the next thing. The making of musicals are based on already known properties. Like Mean Girls. That was a hit, right?
True.
I don't think it was. Last one. Operation Mincemeat, a new musical. This British import brings to life the true World War II espionage operation where British intelligence used a corpse with false documents to loosely lead the Nazis. The musical blends historical intrigue with sharp wit and inventive storytelling.
What? Yeah, okay, fully invest.
Which one of those do you think won?
Death Becomes Her.
No.
Oh.
It was, maybe Happy
second.
Ending.
Oh,
sorry.
I was gonna second guess, but that's fine.
It's fine.
It's fine.
It's all good. All right. Next, we've got the plays. First, we've got English. Set in an Iranian classroom, this play centers on 4 adult students preparing for the TOEFL exam, which is... I had it here before. The test of English as a foreign language exam. Through the interactions, the story delves into themes of identity, language, and complexities of communication in a globalized world.
Yeah, that could be interesting. Full invest.
Right. Then we have Purpose. The fictional Jasper family, a prominent African American family based in Chicago, reunites under the same roof under auspicious circumstances. Revelations occur as the parents and 2 grown sons attempt to define their value to each other and identity within black culture and politics.
Full invest. If I didn't say so, I would be racist, I feel.
All right, then we've got The Hills of California.
The Hills of Eyes. Oh.
Set in 1976 Blackpool, The Hills of California takes place in the driest summer in 200 years, with beaches and hotels packed to capacity. Far from the tourist thoroughfares, the Weber sisters cram into the guest house of their former home as their mother lies dying.
Yeah, full invest. Intriguing.
Mm-hmm.
We're on a string. We're on a roll here.
Here we go. Then we've got John Proctor is the villain.
Is this like John? What was that movie? Kill. Remember that the rom-com, whatever. Everybody hates something or
Kill
something.
John.
Kill John something, right?
John something. Yes.
Yeah, you know what I'm thinking.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's a play that uses Arthur Miller's The Crucible as a backdrop to explore themes of sexual misconduct, power dynamics, and the Me Too movement with a modern setting. The play follows a group of high school girls in rural Georgia who question the traditional hero narrative surrounding John Proctor, especially as they navigate their own experiences with accusations and potential abuse.
I don't think that's anything like that movie I was trying to think of.
No.
I'm trying to think back.
I mean, it does sound like a bunch of women have been wronged.
It's true. So they might have to kill John Person,
Proctor.
whatever his name is. Proctor, there you go. Yeah, fully
kind of.
Yeah.
Given that John Proctor is a character inside of a book, I can't imagine they'd be killing him, but you know. You do what you can. What else? Okay. We have Oh Mary. The show is a comedic spoof of the lives of Abraham Lincoln and Mary Todd Lincoln. The show is set in the days leading up to Lincoln's assassination, which occurred when he and Mary were watching Our American Cousin at Ford's Theatre. The show portrays Mary as someone who longs to live a life away from politics and be a cabaret performer, while Lincoln uses her as a beard to hide his sexuality, is often away from home dealing with the issues of the Civil War, leaving her alone in the White House.
Partial invest that one?
All right. I'm pretty sure that was all of them. Do you want to take a guess at what won the Tony Award?
Third one.
No.
Oh. Then the fourth one.
No.
Damn it.
It was Purpose, the one about the Black family.
The second one. Damn it. I didn't want to assume.
All right, I guess we'll have to wait and see if these ever get made and if Dylan is right or wrong. But let's talk about some things that have definitely been made and we will definitely be watching, but giving some thumbs to trailers. Of course, you can find all the trailers we're about to talk about in the show notes below. Kicking things off, let's talk about Oh Hi! Directed by Sophie Brooks. What?
Oh, hi, Mark.
Oh, okay.
When you said through the trailers, I was like, is this a fucking another movie about... God damn it.
No, it's not.
It's not.
Oh Hi! Is directed by Sophie Brooks, starring Marley Golden, Logan Lerman, Geraldine Elizabeth-Nathan, and John Reynolds. Iris is enjoying her first romantic getaway with Isaac, until he tells her he's not interested in a serious relationship. So, what did you think of the trailer for Oh Hi!
Oh, hi. Yeah, double thumbs up. I thought this looked like a fun time. I enjoyed the cast. I enjoyed the setup. It looks a bit silly, but in a good way. So,
yeah. 2 thumbs up from me. This is one I've been, I believe it was first shown at Sundance earlier this year. So it's one I've been keeping an eye on because a lot of people really enjoyed it there. But they were also kind of wanting to keep the plot under wraps, I guess. Which it seems like this trailer just gives away. Like the premise, you know. Which I don't know how you could have advertised with this without giving away the premise. Unless you wanted to another misdirect like Materialists. Yeah, I think it's funny concept of. I mean, it's a high concept idea of let's do a rom-com, but it's misery. Let's go about that. So, yeah, this looks like a lot of fun. So I'm very keen to check this out. It's releasing in the US on the 25th of July. I've not been able to confirm an Australian release date. Next trailer is for Too Much, created by Lena Dunham and Louis Felber, starring Megan Statler and Will Sharp. New Yorker Jessica starts a new life in London after a disastrous breakup and finds a connection with Felix. Dylan, is this trailer too much?
No. I'm going double thumbs up for this trailer. Everyone in the comments was complaining about the spitting scene, so that was quite funny. But yeah, I like the cast,
Didn't watch
especially like
cinemas this year. There's a
What's the
scene where
bit?
Haley Steinfeld like drools
True,
a lot.
actually, yeah, very good point. Very good point. Will Sharp, I'm keen to see because I really enjoyed him in the second season of White Lotus, and I haven't seen him in a lot of other stuff. And I saw Andrew Scott in this for 2 seconds, so I'm looking forward to that. But yeah, I mean, I really enjoyed Girl, so coming from Lena Dunham, you can tell it's the same person, given the style in which they write characters and stuff. But yeah, it looks like a intriguing setup, so okay, double thumbs up.
Yeah, I give it 2 thumbs up as well. It's like, although it's a very cringy character, it looks very enjoyable and like, you know, fish out of water, classic American in another country, you know. And what was it? The British Jones Diaries. She's British. Such a funny line, especially given, you know, we've rewatched all the movies this year.
Yeah. I also thought it was funny just the fact she's like, "Where's my Love Actually, my whatever," and that comes up on the screen. It's like from the creators of the Love Actually and Notting
Yeah. Yeah, it looks like looks like it'll be a pretty good time. So Too Much is coming to Netflix on the 10th of July. Next trailer is for The Pickup, directed by Tim Story, starring Eddie Murphy, Pete Davidson, Eva Longoria, Andrew Dice Clay, Marshawn Lynch, and Kiki Palmer. A routine cash pickup takes a wild turn with 2 mismatched armored truck drivers get ambushed by ruthless criminals. As chaos unfolds around them, the unlikely duo must navigate high-risk danger, clashy personalities, and one very bad day that keeps getting worse. Dylan, what do you think of the trailer for The Pickup?
I'm 1 up, 1 down for this one. It looks looks like it could definitely fall into the same category of just straight to streaming nonsense. However, I was enjoying the chemistry between Pete Davidson and Eddie Murphy, so maybe that'll overcome the rest of the mediocrity. Also, this is the movie that Roman Reigns was filming, so you know, like, put your ones up.
Yes. I did see his name in the credits. Yeah, 1 up, 1 down for me. I mean, it looks like a silly time, but the Eddie Murphy and Pete Davidson is not a pairing that I thought would go together.
Work. Yeah,
and it is like very different
Sort of
comedic
working.
tones and that kind of stuff, and like
Yeah.
all those kind of dynamics, which makes it interesting in like a weird buddy cop kind of sense.
Also, I did laugh a little bit too much, or snot laughed at the. How old do you think I am? Well, I don't know. You're probably over 40 and you're black, so you could be. Like, I was like, which way? Because Eddie Murphy's like 65, I think, or something like around that. So
yeah.
I was like, that's funny.
And I like a lot of people in the cast, so you know, like Kiki Palmer's.
I like Kiki Palmer, yeah.
And Marshawn Lynch is very funny in anything I've seen him in so far. So,
Yeah.
The Pickup is coming to Prime Video on the 6th of August. The next trailer is for Brick, directed by Philip Koch.
Can't believe they remade the Ryan Johnson movie. Like, I understand it's very hard to find on streaming service and like even tracking out a physical copy, but just to go out of your way to remake it simply because of that, and like after his huge success of The Last Jedi that everyone loves, and then with the recent Knives Out films, like I know why Netflix decided to remake his own movie. Like, you've got him in house, and you've got him as a huge part of your last To Doom event. Why wouldn't you? Yeah, it's a bit weird. Anyway.
Yeah, it is, and then it seems like they completely changed the plot. It's the craziest way to do a remake, I think. It's completely unrelated to the original film.
No.
Starring Matthias Schweighöfer and Ruby O'Fee, a couple whose apartment building is suddenly surrounded by a mysterious brick wall, and who must work with neighbors to find a way out. So I should point out, Dylan, this is a German film.
Yeah, you know how I realized? Because I got halfway through the trailer and I had to stop it.
The lip sync is not.
Yeah, my brain was like had a wait, hold the fuck on. And then I paused it and went, no, this is not right. And then I went and found something I could watch subtitled. Anyway, I found the German trailer. That plays a lot better. Yep.
Okay.
And having watched the German trailer, 2 thumbs up. Very keen. It looks like such a weird concept. But yeah, I don't know. I'm excited to find out why the hell this brick wall covered this entire apartment complex or whatever the hell it is, or will it just make for an interesting character study of all these people being forced inside? I don't know. Either way, it looks intriguing.
Yeah, I think two something for me. Like I got over the dubbing thing. I think it's also because I'm pretty sure Matthias like did his own English voice over.
He probably did because he's from Army of Thieves and the Zack Snyder
stuff.
things
So
and whatever. So
it just
still,
the voice connected.
It wasn't him. It was a dude, David Dude later, who has like a grey beard or something. He says a line. It's close enough on him that I went, "That's not your fucking voice. That is not your voice."
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, interesting concepts, cool idea. Although I'm very concerned about how easily it seems they've been able to break through all these rooms in this building. Where they're going through the walls, or they're going through the floors. Where are they getting all these ladders from?
It's cheap bricks. Germans keep a lot of ladders around.
Okay, it's a thing.
Yeah. Very common for them to have a lot of ladders around.
Yeah, that's
It's a very common. It's a German saying.
It's a known stereotype. Like Germans, they've got no sense of humor. They're like sausages, and they're great.
They
got ladders.
German saying says, "Luftwaffenstein, ich bin a ladder," which translates to the gold upon the end of yours is if you could not store a ladder in your attic.
Brick is coming to Netflix on the 10th of July.
You can watch it elsewhere too if you find it's got Joseph Gordon-Levitt in the original. If anyone wants to check it out,
if you want to watch the original, it's hard to find, but
it's hard to find, but it's worth watching.
Yeah. Last trailer for this week is Eddington, directed by Ari Aster, starring Joaquin Phoenix, Pedro Pascal, Luke Grimes, Deirdre O'Connell, Michael Ward, Austin Butler, and Emma Stone. In May of 2020, a standoff between a small-town sheriff and mayor spark a powder keg as a neighbor is pitted against neighbor in Eddington, New Mexico. Dylan, are you excited to go back to COVID?
Hell yeah. Oh, okay. You want to... no, this looks very good. I've actually watched this trailer a couple times because I think it's probably one of the better trailers we've had this year. It's just such a entertaining trailer, I think, from the outset. But I'm very excited for this movie. I am not definitely falling into the camp of, oh my god, I've seen people be like, why would we want to go back and watch a movie about COVID and all this sort of shit? And I guess it's like, it's not really so much about COVID, at least from my understanding. It's like not so much about COVID, but just like obviously it's just about people.
That's
right?
the situation
that's the situation. It's the powder keg sort of thing. Yeah, I'm very keen. Obviously, the cast looks great. Just a real mix of different sorts of people in this. I'm keen to learn more about Austin Butler's character. I think from what we see in the trailer, looks like he's doing some. I don't know. Maybe he's finally he's playing a new Charles Manson type. I don't know. Yeah, I'm keen.
Yeah, 2 thumbs with me. It looks interesting. Great cast ensemble. Interesting, dynamic, I guess, of like. It's hard to tell right away which side you're meant to be on.
None.
And I guess it will depend on your feelings about the effects of COVID or how they played out and that kind of stuff. So it's just going to be interesting to see like who's the bad guy and who's the good guy, or is there a bad guy or is there a good guy, or is everybody just shit?
The bad guy was in us all along.
Yeah. And obviously, it got a mixed reaction at Cannes, so which it can either be a good thing or a bad thing. So
I feel like it's just going to be a controversial movie for
probably. I mean, not like Ari Aster's last movie wasn't.
Yeah.
Crazy. So. All right. Eddington is coming to cinemas on the 21st of August. Let's move into this week's top 3.
Definitely in the top 3.
This week's top 3 surprised me. in that we haven't done it already.
I'm not shocked because you could probably only pick 3 things. So
That's not fair. This week's top 3 is top 3 zombie films in honor of 28 years later coming back. See, that's already 2 zombie movies I've watched.
It's true.
And
True.
I made a point to not include either in this list.
Well.
Dylan, what's number 3?
What is my number 3? I struggled with this list, to be completely honest. So
Because there's too many choices?
No, there's too many fucking choices. I've gone Shaun the Dead at number 3. I went backwards and forwards a lot. Shaun the Dead is, as much as it could be like, it's just a parody, and it parodies a lot of other movies that you could just make a top 3 list out of. The fact of the matter is, they went out to parody zombie movies and made a zombie movie so good that people don't even need to understand the movies they're parodying to enjoy it so much. So, Shaun the Dead.
Yep. That's why Shaun the Dead is my number 1.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me.
It fits my taste perfectly.
Yeah.
It's funny, got a lot of humor, and it's got the right amount of sadness and zombies trying to kill people. You know?
Mm-hmm.
It's all about the human condition, really. That's what zombie movies are about, right?
Mm-hmm.
Zombies are the secondary thing. It's about the people dealing with the zombies.
I mean, you're not wrong.
So that's my number 1. My number 3, in a very similar vein, Zombieland, which is really just the American version of Shaun the Dead. You know, have to be bigger, bolder, and more killing of zombies. You know, Emma Stone, Jesse Eisenberg, Woody Harrelson, Dakota. No, who is the other? I can't remember the little girl's name. Abigail Spencer. No, Abigail something. But yeah, really enjoyable. A lot of fun. Poking at zombie themes and ideas and all that kind of stuff. So, my number 3. Tell them what's number 2.
Number 2, I did go 28 Days Later. I mean, it sort of it did revolutionize the zombie.
It redefined the term zombie.
It's true. It did. So, and because of all that, and it was like, I remember watching this, renting it when it came out, and feeling like it was so exciting and fresh at time. And I think it's something to be said about the fact that there's many people like myself watching it thinking this is so fresh and exciting. And then you have all these filmmakers and comic book writers out there watching it who are so obviously inspired by the vibe of this, that they then set out and make your Walking Deads or your Zack Snyder zombie films, and you know, all these things that inspired the Telltale stuff afterwards. Whatever you want, road you want to go down. I think it's all this is the modern zombie movie. So,
all right. So my number 2 and the final one on my list, Train to Busan.
Watch this for this podcast.
Yes, I did. I guess
We did, yeah.
I think it's one of the earliest ones that we did.
Yeah, it was one of the early ones. Yeah.
Man, what a fantastic film! Great cast. You know, a bunch of people just dealing with zombies on a train. You know, what more do you want? You know, great set pieces, great characters, great emotion, storylines, and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, Train to Busan. There's a reason that it keeps getting brought up, and they talk about remaking it or doing this. They've done spin-offs and all that kind of stuff. It's good shit. Dylan, what is your number 1 zombie film?
It was hard, but I'm gonna go with the original Dawn of the Dead. I feel like doing a top 3 zombie list, I had to pick a George A. Romero one, and even picking the best George Romero zombie film was quite hard. So I've gone with his second one, Dawn of the Dead, which I guess if 28 Days redefined the modern zombie movie, Dawn of the Dead by Romero was that was the zombie movie for its time. Like if we were introduced to Night of the Living Dead, they're coming to get you, Barbara. Then you know his bigger budget, the switch to color, the setting it inside the shopping mall, allowing the different cast of characters to get to know each other inside that setting, still sort of infused with that post Vietnam War discussion that was in his previous film, but now adding in a bit more flair and action and stuff. I mean, also the zombie makeup in this is sort of the zombie makeup staple thing for so long in the Romero film. So, yeah, I'm gonna go with the classic Dawn of the Dead.
All right, fair enough. Dylan, this week, what do you want to watch?
I would like to watch 28 Years Later, please.
Okay. Anything else this week?
I don't think there's anything else, to be honest. I don't think there's anything on TVs or anything. I refuse to pick more than one movie as well. There's rules to this segment. You know, I can't just be picking everything.
I mean, let's see. Oh, I'm keen to watch K-pop Demon Hunters, which is dropping on Netflix this week.
Mm-hmm. That's your movie, though, right?
The animated film in which K-pop stars fight demons. Unsurprisingly. Interestingly, apparently Disney is dropping a pro shoot of the Frozen musical on Disney Plus this week. And then that Waterfront show that we talked about, the trailer for, is dropping on Netflix this week.
Waterfront. Oh, the Bayou family
yes.
thing. Yeah.
But yeah, that's it for this week. Let us know what you want to watch this week by letting us know on Blue Sky at explosionnetwork.com or find us on other social media at ExplosionPod. If you want to help us out here at What Do You Want to Watch, leave us a review on Apple Podcasts, on Podchaser, leave us 5 stars and equally 5 stars, just tell people about the show. And if you've enjoyed this episode, thought it was worth $1, head on over to our Ko-fi page at explosionnetwork.com/support. Thank you very much for listening. Until next time, keep watching stuff, I guess. All right, Dylan, do you want to share your Materialist spoiler thoughts? What were those ladies complaining about?
So they spat it towards the end of the movie once it became obvious that she was going to switch to the Chris Evans character. And I heard them, I don't want to say verbatim, because I can't remember it that well, but the mutterings were basically along the lines of, why would she pick him over him? He has so much more money. Oh my God, that house he lived in. Why would you pick a fucking bum over that? Like, they were all like just saying, like, again, the materialistic.
Didn't she like verbatim explain why?
Yeah, I mean,
love needs to be on the table.
This is what I mean. they were literally complaining about all the, they were just viewing him as the, the thing. Which, I'll say I didn't like quite. I didn't say it before. I was like, I'll just say it to this second. But I do think it's quite an interesting film because I do think a lot of the characters, including Pedro and Dakota, don't have great chemistry. Not that they're like terrible on screen together, but you never like. I personally didn't buy into their romance, but by the time I got to the end of the movie, I sort of appreciated it because I was like, oh, I think that was the point. Like, they don't actually love each other. Like, you don't see the spark on screen. In fact, the scene where you should be seeing the spark when they go home for the first time, she's more obsessed with looking at his house and she's like falling in love with his house instead of him. He's trying to make out with her and whatever else, and she's just looking at the objects around. So I think all the things that I was worried about as I was watching it, in retrospect, I sort of appreciated as I'm presuming were more obvious choices to make the story
it's a feature,
work.
not a flaw.
Yeah. So
yeah. I mean, the opening joke where I think which kind of set the tone for the movie, where this woman is like, this, I love this man because he makes my sister jealous, and that makes me feel like I've won.
No, it makes me feel. She says it makes her feel.
Well, then Dakota Johnson spins it. She makes you feel valuable.
Yeah, valuable. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean that's the thesis, I guess, of people want to feel valuable, and like, that is an important thing. But it's not the only thing, I guess. Like,
I did find I can understand why this movie. I think it's like Past Lives isn't a mainstream romance by any means, but do you feel like almost this movie is a little bit more vague by the time you even get to the end, as much as you may think it's a straight narrow path, just because it's like, yes, guy and girl end up together, but she's still doing it's implied she'll still be doing the job that she sort of come to realize is
bad.
And it's like then trying to think about what that says about us in the world. You know what I mean? Like what?
Well, she was quitting the job towards the end of the film.
Yeah, but then she got offered money, so now she's going to stay.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Like, it's just at the end. It's like at the end of the
core,
day,
though, she is a materialist and wants nice things. So
yeah, but I sort of took it as like, aren't we all? You know?
Yeah.
Like I do feel like the movie it takes, because Dakota Johnson's character is not like, you don't hate her, but she's not particularly likable either. I do think she's not a normal rom-com or romance lead. She's not easily likable, or like you're watching her and you sort of understand her to a degree, but you're not like fully rooting for her because I do feel like most people, myself included, like the second you're like watching a matchmaker character, you're like, oh, that's a bit of a gross job. Like I don't know how I feel about it. Like there's just something off about that. So the whole movie is sort of like not fully on board with her, where you would be for other movies where you're rooting for her. But yeah, it is an interesting dichotomy of characters, and then by the end of it, where you're like sort of thankful that she's seen the light somewhat, I guess, and seen that she had the person who she actually likes right in front of her the whole time. The fact that at the end of the day, it's like she still can't turn away the fact that she likes money. And you know what? I do think that's like sort of, it's an honest truth, you know.
Yeah.
As much as even I would be like, I would like to think I would hold like personality and whatever else morally
strong.
like more interesting. Like I guarantee, like at the end of the day, it's like, I don't know, man. Life's expensive. Yeah. You know, like
she was really enjoying those things that she was, with Pedro. I think it's like the thing I just noticed was really interesting. It's currently like obviously Google reviews is like pretty shocking, but it's sitting at a 2.5
on
Google movie reviews, and the highest bar of scores is a 1.
Really?
Yeah.
What the fuck?
But I guess it's like it wasn't what people were expecting, and also Dakota Johnson's kind of a quiet taste, I guess. Or
Dakota Johnson's such an interesting actress, because I do think she pops out every like 5-6 years, does something for a paycheck, and then disappears back into odd movies. Yeah. So, I don't even like. Do we consider her mainstream? We only consider her mainstream because of 50 Shades of Grey, right? Like she's not.
I think so.
She's not someone I would generally consider to be if I'm just looking at her, like, so it's like Materials, Splitsville, Madam Web, Paycheck, Daddy-O, Percussion, Am I Okay, Cha Cha Real Smooth, The Lost Order, The High Note, Nowhere In, Our Friend, The Peanut Butter Falcon, Wounds, Bad Times at El Real, Suspiria, 50 Shades Free, Paycheck, 50 Shades Jacket, Paycheck. How do we, you know what I mean? It's just like, for most of the part, I don't know, she's an interesting person. And I will say, like, I think the other thing that had me more thinking about like her choices, or even the directorial choices, is when her chemistry with Pedro Pascal and all these interviews going around on fire. Her and Pedro have this great chemistry in these interviews together. They were giving nothing in the movie. At least I got nothing from them. But so I just take it as a like it's purposeful.
No, it was very much a business proposition between the two the entire time, which was kind of the point.
Have you also seen, not to go completely off the sidetrack, but have you seen the clips of her telling Chris Evans off?
No,
they are
I don't.
Very funny to me. The Chris Evans will do these things like he'll go to like sit on his chair somewhere, and she'll just be like, no. Like she like tells him off like a thing, and he's like, sorry, yeah, she's told me not to sit like that several times today. And then like he goes to do something else, or what, I don't remember what he goes to do, like something with his clothes or something, and she just shakes her head and goes, no. He's like, sorry, so I know you said not to, like it's like she's just like,
she's got them both whipped.
It's quite funny.
Speaking of Chris Evans, like he's very charming and enjoyable in this role.
This is easily the best thing he's done since Knives Out. I think.
Like even I felt for him when he's in that apartment with that roommate. It's like
you take my charger.
Yeah.
You leave the condom on the kitchen floor?
The
Well, I
kitchen
didn't want it in my
I do it in my
room.
room. It's weird. No.
She put it in the kitchen where we have food? Well, I didn't think that hard about it.
And then the play that he's in, which looks terrible,
Depressing, yeah.
depressing, But yeah, his monologue at the end, like, what you just bring me here to, date me or use me, I guess, knowing how I feel about you and all that kind of stuff, and making that final offer and all that, I think is super romantic and that kind of stuff. So,
yeah,
a little bit weird to make a super romantic gesture after you come to help this woman who's being harassed by man, but what timing is not everything,
Before we wrap up, I forgot to give the shout outs before, but 3 other things I loved about this movie. Music's phenomenal, the cinematography was fantastic, and the costume design was great.
Yeah,
a few things right. Yeah.
Shot in New York, it looked like,
Yeah.
Daniel Pemberton on the score.
Daniel Pemberton score, yeah. Can't remember
a great composer.
Same cinematographer as Past Lives, but I don't remember the name of something.
Yeah. What else? Just really well put together. Like, I think Dakota Johnson fits like the matchmaking element of like how you've got to be kind of removed in the way they're talking about their clients, especially at the start of the movie. Like, especially about Sophie's, like, she's got nothing.
Yeah, you also
there's nothing special about it. There's no niche.
You can't have someone in that role who isn't just strikingly beautiful either. Like, you just can't. Like, the whole thing is sort of like, she's the whole like, I'm gonna save myself until the like the unicorn.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, if she wasn't like this herself, sort of so good looking and everything, then you wouldn't buy into like settle with it.
I mean, all those matchmakers are beautiful.
Well, yeah,
everyone in
like,
that agency is.
Yeah, I think that's sort of I think it's
point.
like part of the point. But you couldn't cast someone who's like, it sounds mean to say, but like, I think that's part of the movie. It's like, you can cast someone who's like a 7. You know what I mean? Like, it sort of had. I think that was part of the thing.
Yeah. And did you pick up who the guy on the other line of the phone, like the bad dude?
John Barano, whatever his name is,
from Past Lives. Yeah.
From Past Lives, yeah, recognizes.
I'm certain it's him.
Yeah, I saw it in the credits when it finished. And I was like, as I was watching it, my ears are doing that thing where like, I know that voice, but I'm just gonna like, I can't pull out my phone now. Well, I could, but I'm not a fucking animal. So I waited to the credits, and then I was like, oh, Past Lives, yeah.
Yeah, great connection.
Yeah.
And then I love that the end credits is just a bunch of people getting married at the.
Yeah, I watched it for all the way through. Did you?
Yeah.
It's cool.
Okay. So.
Which again, just such a fantastic way to end this. Like, you have the movie starts with this like $1 million, trillion, $10 million wedding or whatever that they're at. Ridiculous thing. We then have a farmhouse wedding, more of like that. More, I don't know, middle class wedding or whatever. Yeah. So it's like, you start high end, you get middle class wedding, and then by the end of the movie, we're just getting we're just getting the marriage certificate. We're just getting the business transaction, baby. You know what I mean? Like, we're straight down, no formalities, just business transaction.
Yeah. All right.